Can I ask the question to people? Because it's gone a bit cold recently, but Gerrard's name was bandied about the other week, particularly to join the main coaching staff. Go on, Chloe. So keen.
Same here, by the
He's
way,
just, look, you're a phenomenal footballer, but it doesn't mean just because you're a phenomenal footballer that A, you're going to be a phenomenal manager, or that you should get the gig to replace Johnny Heitinga. And by the way, Johnny Heitinga deserves what he's got at Ajax because he has been brilliant for us, but also previously. And we would have loved to have kept hold of him. Gerrard, it just, first of all, not that he could ever tarnish his legacy for me, but to a lot of people he could probably do that. Maybe not in this role, but, and I'm speaking years on years now, but if Slot ever does leave, then you'd assume if he was his right-hand man, he'd then be thrown about to become the next one in line. For me, it just doesn't fit. I don't want him, like, imagine Slot and you've got Gerrard next to him. The limelight should not be away from Slot.
That's it. He's too high profile.
That's it. Yeah, my take is that he's too, I know what you're saying, but I'm not saying this contradicts it totally, but he's too big now. Because my initially I was thinking 21s. I mean, he was 18s, wasn't he? Yeah. 18s manager. But this is a guy, and it's actually pointed out by Douglas Aduga in the comments, as Gerrard won a Scottish title, and someone has to say it. I know it's not gone well for him since leaving Scottish footy.
And they want him back. They wanted him back, didn't they?
Russell Martin's gone in, hasn't he? Yeah.
The fans wanted him back there. I think, listen, I'm the same as you guys. I think he's too big, but I could see how it could be a great sort of reset for Gerrard and his managerial career as well. If you put yourself not in our shoes and you put yourself in his shoes, that is a bit of a step back for somebody of his stature to be able to go, no, do you know what? I haven't done brilliantly since I've left Rangers, and I probably need to go and get better at my craft and stuff. And actually, when you think of it from that point of view, that's a mindset that you wouldn't mind having at Liverpool because of who he is and because of the way that he's sort of approaching the rest of his career. I think you could see the possibilities there with him going there, but I am the same as you guys. Mostly I'm like, it's just too big a name. You don't want the distraction of it, but if he's willing to sort of step back into the shadows, that says a lot about him and his feelings for this football club, and you should probably open yourself up to that as well.
Yeah, it's whether the media allow you to step back in the shadows, like it like you said there, it's the name. And if it's someone else, then maybe you can get away with stepping back into the shadows, but it's Steven Gerrard.
Well, he was signed to the Saudi Pro League almost as the same level as the players were being signed, for his reputation alone, which tells you a lot about what we're
Where'd you fit Steve Clark in?
Yeah,
he goes with him everywhere, doesn't he?
Oh dear, that could be back as well.
Yeah, Gary Mack will be back.
Honestly, everything he does on the touchline, good or bad, will be magnified, and that's all the conversation would be about. All of a sudden, now Arne Slot, regardless, doesn't need the attention, doesn't need the limelight, so it's by the by to him. But I think just from us, optically, it would just be too big a deal. He's too big a deal to be as part of Liverpool backroom staff for me right now.
Fran Darlin says too big. I hear that a lot.
Lies, Fran.
I mean, the other side of consideration of this is Slot side, and which is the most important, I guess, consideration is does he want? Because we're all saying Gerrard's a big character, and he's got a lot of media attention and spotlight and what have you. If Slot's not asked, then sound. That would be my sort of, I guess, wrapping up point on it really is if he feels it's not a big deal, because it does happen, big name footballers. Gerrard would have done it, I think, if Klopp was manager. I think he might have considered the step from 18s to assistant manager if Klopp was there. But of course, as we say, he's now gone and won technically, it's a major honour, the Scottish Premier League.
But I think Klopp is such a larger-than-life character, and he drew so much attention, it would have not been quite so big a deal. But because of the way, quite understated in the way Slot's gone about it, that might change in the fullness of time when he really gets his feet under the table, if he hasn't already with Premier League title, of course. I just think it would just detract from the manager, personally.
I also think, and I go back to it, the record of Gerrard hasn't proven anything to me. Johnny Heitinga, it felt like he was, quite far ahead of where Gerrard is in terms of...
How do you
that's fair.
Well, Gerrard's been as managed
the number one.
And I know you can say it's not worked, but he has managed 3 senior
And
footballers.
let's not forget,
Premier League,
are we
I
actually
guess.
talking about an assistant manager's job?
Yeah, absolutely.
Are we? Because it would be a coach.
It wouldn't even be. I think
Yeah.
Hulshoff is his right hand man.
Yeah,
Gerrard's
so
one
it's
step down for
a
all.
first team
Heitinga.
coach, isn't
Yeah.
it? You know what I mean? That's ultimately what it is. That's what Slot is the head coach. Nowadays, it's very different, I feel, to being a sort of manager. You're going in there, you're working on the training ground with people week in, week out. That in and of itself is a step back from Steven Gerrard. It's probably not what he's been doing over the last couple of years. He's got coaches who go out there and run the training sessions. So it actually, he could be a bit of an unknown quantity in that regard himself, because he's always felt a bit more like an Alex Ferguson type of a manager to me anyway, Gerrard, where it's him and he'll set what he's going to tell people what he wants, but the coaching is left to the more experienced coaches.
Well, that's like McAllister.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what Gerrard has sort of been, hasn't it? So would it be something that his skill set, even though he's won a Scottish Premier League, actually works with?
Well, that's again, he's overqualified for the job. Whether we think he's a good enough manager or whatever, it's funny that how careers go, because leaving Rangers, he was one solid appointment, like 2 years of being a good competitive manager away from being favourite for the Liverpool manager's job, and now we wouldn't want him back as a coach potentially.
Maybe Slot wants someone to take a bit of the spotlight off him.
I want Steven Gerrard back at the club, and I don't know what that looks like. And there are only so many ways he can come back. There's no world now where he becomes Liverpool manager. I think that ship sailed. And if it's an ambassadorial role, cool. He loves Liverpool. He is a great natural ambassador for the football club. If there was some way where you could utilise what he's got, he's not going to go and do LFC TV. You know what I mean? He's far too big for that. And it would be a shame to lose him again to something else. Be nice. I just want him back. I want him back at the foot. He's worth money to Liverpool as well, and that's a thing that should be factored in. But yeah, I'm not sure. Really not sure on that one. But again, if Slot wants it, then I'm sure we can all find a way to get behind it. Right. I asked the question before the break. If you could bring back, if not Gerrard, and you had to bring back a former Liverpool player to be assistant manager for Arne Slot this season, who would it be? So we're going to go, right, Steve's not here, right? So I can explain something without him jumping on it before I finished explaining it, like we had on a podcast the other week. We're going to go.
I hope he's listening and comes running downstairs.
1, name. So 3, 2, 1, name. Okay. What was that show we did? That I was trying to explain it. And we're gonna go 3, 2, 1, and he said it. No. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. We've put the system in place. Everything's gonna be cool. Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Divock Origi.
There's just noise at that point.
Divock Origi from Chris.
Tiago.
I like
Oh,
Tiago.
that's a shout.
It's not the answer, but it's a good shout.
Oh, what is the answer?
Dirk
Kuyt.
Absolutely.
Did you say Milner?
James Milner.
He's still playing. Premier League appearance record. Dirk is literally a coach.
Player assistant coach. We need some cheap fullback options. What can I say? If Andy Robbo moves on, you need to get someone in the dressing room to tell people to get off their fucking phones. Someone's got to do it.
I just want Divock back.
Divock Origi. I can get like
Football
that.
without Origi is nothing. You know this.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I love that.
That's
Thiago
a great shout.
I really wondered because he had visa. In fact, it was tax issues last year, wasn't it? Because he moved to Barcelona, but he had to move back to England in order to complete the tax year or whatever before he could go and get employed elsewhere. And I did wonder whether Liverpool might kind of pull him in during that time. That would be terrific.
One of the greatest technicians of a footballer I've ever seen.
Get him doing the
in my
21s. Get him doing the 21s.
Stunning.
Yeah.
The Dutch connection as well. Get Dirk.
I've seen a lot of people mentioning Dirk in the comments. Actually, not all of them have been favourable.
No,
apparently he's not. I saw someone say he's not good as a manager. I've got no concept of what he is as a manager.
He's done okay. He's had a go.
He's done okay.
Yeah. But we're not bringing him in to be the manager, are we?
Yeah.
So Johnny Heitinga might not turn out to be a smash hit at Ajax as well. We just don't know, do we? So.